Welcome back to EPN Talk. We talk the EPN some days, some of the time. It's a much calmer place. Not weekly episodes. This episode's actually a little late. I probably owed this to you guys a few days ago, but I actually recorded and uploaded a video, and then I watched it and I was like, "What the fuck did I just do?" I didn't talk about any of the things I wanted to talk about. It was actually just such a salt fest. It was just me being I was in such a weird mood. I was like, this has to go. I gotta delete this. Maybe I'll show it to you guys at some point, but it was just, I don't know. I woke up on the bad side of the bed that morning. But yeah, so I want to talk about what I want to talk about, guys. We're through 4 cycles. We're 20 weeks done, a little over halfway done with the season. The standings are as follows. We have a new man at the top. Weston, 40 points, graded on 37. I moved into third place now, 31 points. Lynch, 28. Ortiz, 24, and Carroll down at 18. So, big week for Carroll, week 20, I believe. Yes, week 20. He beat Ortiz, which is the guy he needs to beat and continue to beat if he wants to try and climb out of that 6th position and not have to do 2 shotguns. Because honestly, they have the 2 worst teams. It's pretty evident. I know Lynch is sitting there in 4th, barely above Ortiz, but you know what? Lynch has a pretty good team, and it's also very helpful to Lynch, Ortiz, and Carroll that Graydon, Mike, and I are probably the 3 most affected by this Africa Cup of Nations over the next 3 match weeks. It's only 3 match weeks. Like, with all the cup games and shit, it's not really that big of a deal. And Chelsea somehow manages to get one of their games rescheduled in that window. So Chelsea actually only has to play 2 games without Mendy. But Liverpool, Arsenal, some of the other teams that are pretty majorly impacted do have 3 games. So, we won't see Salah, Mane, Keita for Liverpool, for Arsenal, Aubameyang, Partey. And yeah, anyway, that's besides the point. I wanted to just look at people's rosters real quick, because this is what I did the other day. I looked at people's rosters, and then I just started talking about their teams and, what you should do, and this and that, and blah, 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 blah. And it was like, Brian, what the fuck do you know, honestly? But I will start with Kevin, and it's not that if I was Kevin, you don't have to look at this very long to get your lineup set. Okay, you are setting your lineup against me for this week, and you have Chalobah and Alonso both home against Liverpool. What world are you starting 2 defenders that both play Liverpool? You just look at it, you see their matchups, Alonso keep fine because he's going to probably start at left back for a majority of the rest of the season unless they pick someone up. But Chalobah, just swap him out for any other center back in the fucking thing. Great, he started, that's awesome. But Liverpool, Chalobah's not someone you need to hold on to or anything like that. That just he's just an example. My whole video that I had uploaded was me just ripping apart everyone who they had kept and not just cut ties with. So I'll keep it to a minimum. Chalobah was one of them for Kevin. And Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood hasn't played 90 minutes since game week 7. Why the fuck is he rostered? Why the actual fuck is Greenwood rostered? I mean, now Kevin's probably going to drop both of those guys and his team's going to slowly improve and whatever. But you know what? I don't care. And Jorginho is just a con man. Absolute fucking con man. He gets random spurts of penalties, and it makes him his points shoot up, and he's one of the highest in the transactions. He's the highest player available. But then he plays 6 games in a row where he doesn't start a few of them. He doesn't get no penalties, so he doesn't score or anything. He's not much of an assist guy. And then someone gets baited into picking up, and this time it was Kevin. Enough with Kevin's team, though, guys. As I said, I don't want this to be exactly like the other video, and I do have more things prepared than just talking about this. But we'll quickly go to Ortiz's team. I do like to run through everyone's team through the cycle. Look at Ortiz's team. He's got Alex Telles in there, which is just so shocking to me because Luke Shaw's been back for 2 or 3 match weeks now, and United hasn't had that many clean sheets to begin with this year, so I don't know why Alex Telles was ever really the answer. But I digress. The rest of his team was probably pretty fine. He maybe could have cycled out some guys, but you know what? He has no one affected by Africa Cup of Nations as well, so maybe we can see a little spurt from his team because Ortiz seems very streaky. He either puts up a really good week randomly or just such bad weeks. His lines and it's only when he plays me. I texted him his average against me was 57 points the 5 times we played or 4 times we played, and his average against everyone else was 33 points. That's fucking mental, in my opinion. That is worthy of using the term mental. Move on to Lynchman's team. I mean, he's got good midfield for sure. He's got some of the best players. Maybe he could the Bamford thing. I think Bamford's finally coming back, but like Lynch has been holding this man, and he's been on his bench for like 15 out of the 20 weeks and just hasn't played. And like it almost gets to a point like, what players is that worth it for? You know what I mean? Like Bamford obviously had a great season last year. Like he finished like top 10, so he was like probably your second round pick probably. Like I get it. Like I get it. I kept Aguero for almost the whole season last year, and it was definitely a hindrance. So like, I don't know. I didn't know the extent of Bamford's injury, and I think they tried to rush him back, and then he retweaked it or some shit. So like, it's a sticky situation, and there's never any accurate articles when you try and Google these fucking injuries. It's not like the NFL where Schefter's tweeting up a storm, Rappaport's got all these different insiders got all this stuff. There's good stuff for transfers, kind of, but there's also like a million fucking rumors. But like injuries, I feel like I can just never get a clear answer, especially when it's kind of minor. But Bamford obviously wasn't minor. So yeah, that's enough about Lynch's team. I think he has a pretty good team, and as I said, these bottom three guys, they don't have any Africa Cup of Nations guys, so it's going to be a huge benefit. We move on to my team. I already dropped Zaha because he was suspended for this current game week that we're fucking stuck in. What a long game week because of the extra games and shit. We have like another week. I'm obviously going to lose Mane, so I didn't think I could have two guys going. And then Vardy gets hurt, and Vardy's going to miss like 2 weeks. I'm going to have Vardy and Mane on my bench for the next 2 weeks, possibly three for Mane. I'm not sure about. Hopefully Vardy can get back. That's a killer. Lukaku is turning into a possible killer for my team, so I don't know what I'm going to do there. But otherwise, I do feel pretty good about it. I'm interested to see how bad this Mane blow is to my team, and possibly if I don't have Mane, Vardy, and Lukaku, if those three are on my bench, that's a really bad sign, and I'm going to probably have to drop Lukaku if all three of them are slated to not play. So it could be a sneaky pickup for somebody if he turns it around. I have no idea what's going to happen there. Next team, Graydon. Graydon's getting killed, man. Salah, Mahrez, and Mendy. But as I said, Mendy's only going to be 2 games, but still. Salah, Mahrez are like his 2 best players. He's rocking Odegaard and Saka right now. He's got 2 Arsenal midfielders. Not sure how he feels about that personally, but they've been great fantasy players. So that's pretty good. Maybe he could rotate out Pookie if he needs to switch someone. He's got a few defenders that definitely don't need to stay. But yeah, his team looks a lot different with that because he's going to have to keep Salah and Mahrez. So that's for the next 3 weeks at least. That's 2 bench spots taken up. So we're going to see if Graydon can put in the work and make the transactions necessary to keep his team afloat because Weston kind of came on him like a storm. Pause. Goodness. But Weston's got Ben Rama and Aubameyang out. Reece James has been injured. So it's going to be you can't drop Ben Rama. Ben Rama's been phenomenal this season. Is he going to drop Aubameyang? That's like a big question because when Aubameyang comes back, is he even going to be in the team? I heard he's been trying to trade him to. I think he like only tries to trade with Kevin because he's the only one I ever hear trades about. Maybe just because Kevin's very vocal about it. But like, yeah, definitely some interesting offers he threw at Kevin, and he hates them so much. He really hates them. But yeah, so those are the teams. The top 3 guys are most affected by the Africa Cup of Nations. I think this next cycle, we're going to see how it shakes out because, see who can do well. But let's see who did well in this last cycle. Weston and I both went 4-1, so that was a big surge. Weston obviously overtook Graydon, and I came down. I think I was in 5th last cycle, so I'm up in 3rd now. That feels good. Lynch went, I believe, 2-3. Does that add up? Lynch might have went 3-2. I think Lynch went 3-2, and Graydon and Ortiz went 2-3 in this cycle. And Carol went 1. No, I'm sorry, Carol. That's disrespectful. You went 2-3, I think. And Ortiz went 1-4. Fucking hell! Now I gotta recheck it. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. Ortiz 0-1. Ortiz 0-2. Ortiz 0-3, Ortiz 0-4. Okay, Ortiz is the one that went 1-4. My apologies, Carol. You went 2-3. Trying to stay afloat. So that's pretty good stuff. Quick money update. Weston's on. Where is that? I think Weston's on $70. Graydon's on 35. Ortiz and I are on 30. Is that right? Lynch 15, Kevin 10. Ortiz might be on 40. Does that add up? Holy shit. Guys, I'm struggling right now. I did not come in this as prepared as I want. So 105, 135, 165, 180. No, Ortiz must be on $40. So Weston 70, Ortiz 40. Crazy. I told you, his team just spikes and he gets the most points. Ortiz 40, Graydon 35, me 30, Lynch 15, Carroll 10. That's where it sits with the money. Quick look at the top players in the league. I'm not going to go through the draft room anymore. I think all that's been said, the trends have pretty much kept up. But I want to just look at the top 10 players and, who has the most of them. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stops at Mason Mount, who's sitting at player number 10 right now. Graydon has 2 out of the top 10. Ortiz has 1. I have 2. Lynch has 3. And Weston and Carroll each have 1. So that's why I feel like Lynch's team is really going to surge in this next window with a lot of our best players out. Because Lynch has 3 of the top players. They're all midfielders. Heung-min Son, Bernardo Silva, and Bowen have all just been absolutely excellent for Lynch. I guess he has the best midfield in the league. And that was something that jumped out to me. The fact that he had 3. The fact that Ortiz has 2. Wait, did I look at that wrong? Does Ortiz only have 1? Ortiz only has 1. Graydon has 2. I don't know if I mixed that up. I'm all over the place today. I've had a lot of coffee and my head's just... Honestly, I think that's all I got. Predictions are that Lynch is going to make a bit of a surge. Weston, Graydon, and I are going to cool off a little bit in this next cycle. And then Carroll and Ortiz can just keep fighting it out at the bottom, man. Weston's almost made his money back. Let's not talk about that too much. And I honestly just really hope you guys have a great day. I know Chelsea's beating the Tottenham right now. It doesn't do much for me other than fuck Tottenham. We're going to be playing a depleted Liverpool squad. I know that the game got rescheduled. Mike was, or Lynch was saying sending that Arsenal. The Arsenal fans are some of the worst on social media, let's be honest. They're so delusional. But hey, there'll be no Mane, no Salah, no Keita. We can only hope, right? We want to win that and then just fucking lose to Chelsea in the final, like per usual. But I don't know. Anyway, that red card on Gabriel still doesn't sit right with me. I understand it was a second yellow, and maybe the circumstances of it maybe made it a yellow, but still doesn't sit right with me. So, once again, have a great day. Even better week. It's going to be a while until the next one of these. It's going to be either late February or early March. So if you don't hear from me, Godspeed.